Pardon? If I could turn the camera right now, I would. Hey guys, welcome back to Alternative Smallholding. Today we are going to be paying attention to the herb bed and planting up a variety of new beautiful herbs like these into a variety of different places, such as pots and directly into the ground. And they smell amazing. This herb bed desperately needs weeding. It's got a lot of speedwell coming up in it and a few dandelions. But my main thing is I want to get some more plants planted in here today, and also I want to sow some seeds so we've got some lovely flowers to join these herbs. I'm using my favourite Wolfgarten push and pull herbs to go through this bed. I did sit down and start doing it by hand, and then I thought, no, life's too short for that. Take those off. The reason I'm so insisting on doing this herb bed at the moment is the other day I showed you the lovely woad plant, and it's amazing. As I said, it reminds me of honey, sunshine and smiles, and I wanted more things in the garden that did that, or on the allotment. Obviously the vegetables will do that anyway, but I wanted more beautification, shall we say. Now the plants that are in here are doing really well already. I just want to fill in some gaps, and I want to bring more flowers and scents and just general beauty into this. We obviously grow all of our fruit and vegetables, but sometimes it's nice to just have a break and grow something just for its beauty. Now in here, obviously all of these plants are herbs, so if we're not using them for culinary purposes, for cooking, then we are using them, things like the woad and the tansy, then we're using them for dyeing, and also there's like medicinal herbs in here too. But I just wanted to add some extra things in. Now I have been, what can we say? I have been a victim of peer pressure, guys. I shared a picture the other day about some herbs that I had brought, and I thought I was beyond peer pressure. I really did. But Jess over at Roots and Refuge has a thing for variegated plants. Whilst I'm not too interested in general variegated plants, variegated herbs, that took my interest. It's another level of beautification, shall we say. So I had an accident in the garden centre the other day and brought more herbs than I actually need. What I want to do is get this area completely weeded now. It's not going to be perfect. I'm just going over and making sure all the big beasts are out, and then I'm going to plant some things directly into this bed. But then I have brought over a whole load of my terracotta pots from home, and I want to create like a staged kind of area with some of the herbs in pots and make them look really beautiful, and see if I can get some things kind of spilling over the edge. And I've also got a strawberry planter too, so I might plant that up. So let's carry on and get some more work done. I'm happy with the weeding on this for now. I make such a mess. Look at this. I just dump everything on the pathway. All over there too. But it's okay. So I think we should get planting. I've done it. Cheeky. Okay, so we've done the weeding and we've pruned some of the thyme and the horehound and things like that. So I thought I'd show you what plants we've actually got. So this isn't all of them, but this is the accident that I had at the garden centre the other day. So Jess has a thing for variegated plants, full stop, and I like herbs, and so I fell short to the peer pressure of thinking I definitely need some variegated herbs in my life. That is obviously what I need to fill this space. That would make it beautiful. So I have heard that a few of you have also been subject to this kind of peer pressure, and I think it is now known as Jess made me do it, or Roots and Refuge made me do it. And I think it's totally justifiable to use that if we have accidents in garden centres. Let's just blame it all on Jess and Maya. Let's do that. Sorry, Jess. You know we love you, darling. So what did I buy? So I brought some Silver Queen thyme, which is, when it's young, it's quite dark green, but it gets like silver flecks on the edge of its leaves. I brought this thyme mostly because the thyme bush I have is quite old now. I don't hold much hope for that lasting too much longer, so I did need a replacement. But this is more of a lemon thyme, so I'm actually going to have to buy another thyme, which is terrible. But it smells very, very nice, and the little flecks of white in it are very pretty. So that one will be going directly into the ground. I also got the beautiful tricolour sage that Jess had, although my specimen is tiny, and it's dark green with white flecks, and then it also gets, I don't know if you can see on camera if it focuses, but it also gets pink running through it too. It's ever so beautiful. So this is a tiny specimen, but it will grow bigger, but I don't use a whole lot of sage, I just use like it every now and then, so I'm not worried about it being small. I've got a big sage plant at home, so this will grow in time. And then this beauty, this is pineapple mint, which apparently smells a bit like pineapple, but I don't think it does at all. In fact, it doesn't even smell that minty, but it's beautiful, and that's why we got it, because I'm not above buying something just because it's beautiful. So it's got much softer leaves than normal mint. They're more rounded and a little bit fuzzy, and it's just a lovely, gorgeous plant. And the thing is with mint, with this one and the other one I'm going to show you, and well, the other two I'm going to show you, you do need to make sure that you plant them in a pot or in a bed, that you don't mind them like running rampant and taking over, because they are very invasive. But I want them dotted around because I want that lovely scent as you brush past. They're the kind of plants that as you walk past, you just gently brush with your hand and get that gorgeous aroma through, especially in summer. And it's going to be lovely to have all of the mints maybe in like lovely drinks with some lemon balm and some other little bits and bobs. So that's the pineapple mint anyway. Then we have, this one is my favourite. This is a what's it just called? It's just called variegated peppermint. Oh, it's really, really nice. It's got the traditional like more pointy leaves, which you expect from a mint. It smells really strong, really heady. It's just beautiful, beautiful plant. So this one again is going into a pot. And then this is something that I've never heard of. Have you ever heard of this, guys? Vietnamese coriander or cilantro, also known in some areas as Vietnamese mint, I believe. Now apparently this is a perennial, but it's not hardy, so if you want to grow it as a perennial, then you need to keep it protected over winter, and it doesn't like being wet over winter too. But it's got these pointed dark green, like kind of shiny glossy leaves with a arch of purple in the middle, and it smells, it's quite an unusual smell. It's like lemon mixed with something else. It's just, it's quite a strange smell, very, very nice, but it's not something I've smelled before. And I am going to plant this in a pot purely because I want to bring it in over winter. And it grows to about 45 centimetres wide, I believe, and quite bushy. And the leaves can be quite pungent and spicy, so they're really nice to use in stir fries and things like that. So I'm really excited about that, especially as it's perennial. So they're the 5 new plants that I brought purely because Jess made me do it. And I've got some other bits and bobs too, so let me just go and get them. I'll come back to you in a second. Whilst I'm getting on with the herb bed, yes, I'm limping. It's not painful, just so you know. My leg isn't painful right now. It's just when I sit down and then stand up again, the muscles are very, very tight, just because my leg's really swollen from having like 4 hours work done on it. But this is what Beardy Dude is doing while I am playing in the herb bed. Hey you. You found my pot for me? That's for my Vietnamese coriander, that is, thank you. Beardy Dude has done the other half of the bean trench. Don't start pulling funny faces on camera again. See, I was going to film him digging the other half of the bean trench, but then I thought, well, you kind of seen that in the first part, in part 1, didn't they?
Yeah, everyone wants to see Alan digging.
Everyone wants to see Alan digging. Everyone wants to see Beardy Dude digging. Yeah. They do, don't you? Yeah. But you've already seen that in part 1, so what I'm going to do is just let him get on with this bit, and then we go to the actual construction of the actual frame. Then I'll film that bit, and we'll do that as a separate video. How's that sound?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That's the plan. He's in a really cheeky mood, guys.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not.
You're a terror. I can see it in his eyes. He's going to cause trouble. He gets this horrible glint in his eye, and you think, what are you up to? You're planning something. I don't trust him. So some other things that I have are, the other day I was weeding the big bed in our back garden and thinning out the carrots, and I got these. These are calendula and borage seedlings, and they had self-seeded in the garden into that bed, and anything that I could take out with some roots on, I just shoved straight into this pot. It's actually a mushroom like tray. And I thought, I'll see if they'll take. If they'll take, then I'll transplant them. I don't want to waste them, there's no point. And something else that I don't have to grow, and it'll fill in this space. So I'm going to put them in this herb bed here. And then I also have this mint, which I've rescued from a supermarket and gradually hardened off. I think it was 10 pence, and some of it did die back, if you remember from one of our earlier seedling tool videos. But it's come back great guns. So that will be going, oosh, that will be going into a pot too. But my main project for today is not actually in the herb bed, because I want to work with herbs, so I want to do it over here. Okay, as it is, it does need some imagination. But this is what I'm hoping to do with this area. So we're near the top of the plot. That's the asparagus bed. And this was where the mint pot is. And what I want to do is, I've got these like log edges that I picked up off Recycle like, what, over a year ago? And what I wanted to do is put some weed membrane down in here and then just fill it with like really nice pots, like my terracotta pots. So I've got absolutely loads of them. And put some herbs in, and I've got an old strawberry planter that I've had for, oh gosh, nearly 15 years. And maybe put them up so they're all on different levels, and there'll be all different plants cascading down. I'm hoping that this will just create like a little like multi-layer level of interest, and just something like pleasing for the eye. It'll also use up loads of pots, which to be honest they're just taking up loads of space at home and driving me nuts. So I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that'll be nice? I'm thinking maybe that we should paint the wooden bits, because I'm all about colour at the moment. I just think we need colour everywhere. So I don't know, what do you think? Do you think we should paint the edges? Do you think this is going to be nice? I'm going to put some of these in the ground today and get the weed membrane light in the week. And if this works, then it'll give us some pots to put the herbs in, something like the mint, because I don't want them to take over, and I do want to take them with us if we have to. And some pretty flowers. But I've also done this with pots, so let me show you this. So I have these pots, which are like little urns. They've got a flat bottom with a hole in for drainage. And what I was thinking of doing is putting these on a stand with some flowers that can cascade out of them. I thought that would be quite pretty. But what I need to do, if you've got any pot that has a hole in the bottom, can you see? You can't see that, can you? Like this. Then that hole can easily become clogged up with compost or dirt or things, roots even, and that can mean that the plant can't drain very well, and therefore it can get a bit waterlogged, and most plants don't like that. So when I have any terracotta pots or any pots that I either drop or they break from frost damage or anything like that, I actually keep them, and then I break them up and I just put them in the pot over the hole and then fill that with compost, which is what I'm going to do now for this pot that you're standing on. So get off the pot, I need it. Come on, get off. So this one is for the coriander. I've had to put my hoodie on because it's gone really quite chilly, which I wouldn't expect for this time of year, but it's really quite cold. So Crocs in the bottom, in fact just one is going to do it on that. And I shall fill it up. Pot's almost full. If I stand that on the top, I can see that that's flush with the line of this pot. So as always, I'm going to just tease the roots a little bit to encourage them to spread out into the pot. Put that in. And backfill around it. Vietnamese coriander done. So I'm going to give that a good water, and that's going to sit in this area here. It's going to sit in here for now, and I'm going to plant up a couple more of these pots with some other bits and bobs. So getting this mint out of this pot has been on my to-do list for absolutely ages, but the poor thing is so root bound. Can you see? Oh. So I'm actually going to take it home and I am going to rescue it, and I'm going to divide it up into many plants, and then I'll keep a couple myself and I'll pass them on to other people too. But I can't just leave it in there. It's obviously not thriving, and when I've managed to cut back some of that plastic, you can see that that plant is just like so congested. No plant is going to thrive in those conditions. The poor little thing. Here that I've just pulled all of the chard out of. That's the last of the chard and spinach. Some of it's going to seed. We're going to use we're going to use them up, and then I thought I would replant this bed with coriander. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do the whole bed in coriander, and it tends to run to seed really quickly. If the weather is too warm and humid, it bolts really fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this bed as a cut and come again kind of coriander. So I'll sow it, and then when I'll pick it fresh when we want to use it, but when it looks like it's going to go to seed, I'm just going to chop the whole thing back and then freeze that coriander, take the roots out, and then I'll re-sow it. So you can get like 3 or 4 sowings of coriander in per season. So that's my plan for this bed. So I'm going to get these seeds in right now. camera ran out of battery, and as much as I tried to rush the ending in, I just thought I didn't want to rush it. I wanted to show you what we achieved yesterday. So we did the herb bed, and I think it's all looking rather beautiful, to be honest. I think this area generally is with the apple, the broad beans and this, it's all looking a bit billowy and full. It's my favourite part of the plot right now. So throughout the bed we planted those the borage plants and the calendula, like, all around throughout. I just kind of put them down in random places. The ones that we rescued from the carrot bed at home, which had self-seeded, so they've all gone in and out of places. I've left in these hydrangeas for now because I noticed that they have new growth at the bottom, so I am going to deal with them another day. I've just left them where they are for now. The St John's wort is coming on a treat at the moment. Where else did we plant things? Lemon thyme is over there, and that's the variegated sage. We gave the thyme a cut back. The variegated peppermint is in its own pot in the ground to keep it behaving. And we've just given everything a good weed and tidy up, really, but I think it's looking nice. I'm pleased with it. And then we did this area. This does look a pitiful sight right now, doesn't it? But basically the idea is that these pots will all be like multi-leveled, and it will be covered in bark chip, and it'll just look nice. I'm pleased to see that, like, the strawberry plants survived overnight in the strawberry planter. And then there's the Vietnamese coriander and the pineapple mint. This fairy, I'm not really a garden statues person at all, but this fairy was Al's grandma's, and when she passed, we took that from her garden, and we've got a little bird and bee bath there. So it's not looking much at the moment, and we've got to decide if we're going to paint the fence, but that'll be a lovely little contained area. So that's a little summary. I am currently working on the cucumber trellises, and we're taking up this plastic, but that's a story for another day. So thank you for watching us make a herb bed, or me make a herb bed, and I hope you've enjoyed the lovely flowers and promise of summer to come. It's summer next month. I think nature's forgotten that it's spring because it's really cold. So take care, and we will see you soon. Bye.